likely go out of their way to make sure George never feels less loved than Peppa, because that could lead him to suspect he was adopted. Deceased father. Even though we've previously theorized that George's biological father might have been a boyfriend Dottie broke up with when she was younger, there's also a much sadder possibility. He was actually her husband at the time, and they were planning a family together, but he died before George was born. That would change everything we thought we knew about Dottie and make her story even more tragic. According to this version of the theory, she truly wanted to become a mother and raise a family like her sisters, and she believed it was finally going to happen, but that dream fell apart the moment the love of her life passed away. Dottie was probably so devastated that she couldn't bring herself to raise the baby, especially since her son's face would constantly remind her of her late husband. So she gave George to her sister and decided to start over from scratch in another country. It likely took Dottie a long time to recover from what happened, and she only managed to do it thanks to Mummy Pig's support. And if we combine this with the possibility that Mummy Pig lost a baby before adopting George, then what we get is a beautiful story about two sisters supporting each other during the hardest moments of their lives.
Sunod yun.
We also have reason to believe that George's biological father wasn't from England, and that in reality, he lost his life during a conflict between two nations. And no, this isn't something we're just making up. A lot of Peppa Pig fans online have dug up some pretty interesting evidence. Remember how the characters' names usually start with the same letter as their last names? And how those last names always reflect their species? Well, George starts with a G, which definitely isn't the first letter of pig. But guess what? In some languages, it is. One of them being the language spoken in the country of Georgia, where pigs are called gory. That could just be a coincidence, but there's more. The name George sounds a lot like Georgian, the term used to describe people from Georgia. That's way too specific to be random, right? So, what if George's dad was actually from Georgia, and his real name would have been George Gorey? And considering that Dottie now lives in another country, probably the United States, it makes perfect sense that she lived in Georgia before losing the love of her life. And if they really did live in Georgia, then it also makes total sense that this tragedy happened during one of the many conflicts between Russia and Georgia that took place in the early 2000s, which, by the way, was right around the time Peppa Pig started airing in 2004. Just 4 years later, in 2008, a full-blown war broke out between those two countries. Georgia's father likely died in a pre-war conflict, which is sadly more than enough to take the lives of countless innocent people. Horrible, right? But you know what isn't a horrible idea? Subscribing to the channel. That's the best way to make sure you never miss our latest videos about your favorite cartoons. Dinosaur. Believe it or not, even George's obsession with dinosaurs might be another clue pointing to his sad past involving the conflicts in Georgia. If you pay close attention, the little guy isn't just crazy about dinosaurs, he also barely says anything besides dinosaur. Every other word he says is super simple, like he doesn't really know the language. And sure, we could chalk that up to George being really young, but the other kids around his age seem to speak much better than he does. That's also why George sometimes stays silent when someone asks him a question. The little pig has to work extra hard to understand what others are saying. That's probably because George doesn't speak English all that well, which makes total sense if he wasn't adopted by Peppa's parents right away. If he spent a few months, or even the first full year of his life, with Dottie and his biological father in Georgia, that would mean he started learning English later than the other characters on the show. And if you're wondering how George doesn't remember Dottie at all if he lived with her as a baby, just try to remember anything from your own first year of life. You can't, right? Exactly. Distance. Now imagine how deeply all of this must have affected Dottie. She was probably so traumatized that she didn't return to her home country for years. Maybe she didn't want to see her son, out of guilt for what she did, or maybe because deep down she still felt ashamed. We can't really know what's going on in her head today. But this distance Dottie keeps from George doesn't mean she hates him or anything like that. In fact, she loves him, and that love shows in the episode Horsey Twinkletoes, where George and Peppa receive a toy horse as a gift from Dottie. It's hard to believe she'd send a toy to nieces and nephews she barely knows, especially with it being shipped all the way to England. You know how expensive international shipping can be? She must really care about her niece and nephew to go through all that trouble, unless one of them is actually her secret son. Peppa's resentment. We believe the only ones who know the truth are the adult members of the pig family. Mommy, Daddy, the aunts, uncles, and the grandparents. The kids have no idea this whole drama even exists, and no one else in town does either. That's why Peppa has no clue why her parents sometimes treat her like she's not the top priority. Even though they're still great with her, she can tell they give George extra attention, just like we can. And that's exactly why we sometimes see Peppa arguing with George, excluding him from games or acting out. That's how she's trying to deal with her feelings. It's pretty likely that Peppa would be a lot more patient with her little brother if she actually knew everything he's been through. Want to keep having fun with us? Just pick one of the two videos we've left on your screen. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
He is in fact liquid.
Where's my Bible?
Floss break. I'm not seeing enough movement, guys.
Why I need just a little more time to make tunes. It'll be worth it. Here's more sneak peeks. How to use the seamless.
No way. My therapist told me that I need to conceal, don't feel.
And let it go. Not even maybe.
Bam, you look more purple than usual.
Yeah, you do.
Do you think?
Maybe.
I think it might be the shades. The tint of my shades is a little different.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Like the blue, like this part.
You
the
never.
colors are different.
Wait. Did you never have glasses?
What? Yeah, I've had glasses done. What?
Yeah, and is that a new cat ears model as well?
No.
It might be. It might just be.
Yeah, man, weren't you skin colored before? I don't.
Yeah, wait, I remember Bam being green.
Man, show me your shoulder. Show me your shoulder right now. What is underneath?
My shoulder?
Yeah.
My shoulder?
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure you're wearing it all the
Take off the
time.
layer, Bam. Take off the layer, Bam. We're ready.
The cross is crazy.
Actually, try to say.
Anyway, guys.
Okay.
Welcome to the
Anyways. Presentation. Before Bam presents that, we have some presentations of our own. Who wants to go first? Like, I personally, I could go first.
I want to go first. What am I going on?
No,
I want to go first.
wait. I think we're bringing out the wheel.
The wheel. Oh, wait,
the
we
wheel.
should bring out the wheel. I love the wheel. The wheel is like the 8th member of Rumble Pack. Anna's number 9. That's true. I don't want to on the wheel, so we're gonna have to choose 2 colors in one. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll do blue and blue.
Okay.
I'll do red. Wait, alright. I'll do red and purple.
I'll be green, man.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. I will be.
You can still have orange.
I will be yellow and orange. All right, I'll be yellow and orange.
What? What do I get then?
Wait, you get the lighter orange. You get the lighter orange right there.
I'll be-
Anna Hees is just 4 years old, but she is smarter than Albert Einstein, Oppenheimer, and Magnus Carlsen combined.
Oh my god.
But apart from Anna Hees, the amazing world of Gumball has a character that can accurately predict the outcome of any event using maths. A character that can manipulate reality with his brain, and so much more. So today we're going to go over the 8 smartest characters in the show to find out who's really the smartest. Starting with Miss Simeon. This ape is so smart, she has been teaching for over 2 million years. Just imagine all the knowledge she must have collected over the years.
You want to see horrible? 2 million years ago, bashed on the head with a rock by 2 Homo erectus parents because I taught their kid how to make fire.
The reason she's ranking so low on this list is because her intelligence is overshadowed by her sadism and cruelty towards her students. She has 2 million years worth of knowledge in biology, algebra, and literally any subject that can be taught in high school, but instead of using that knowledge for good, she spends most of her time bullying students. In The Joy, we see her bask in everyone's misery while playing a sad song. Regardless of Miss Simeon's 2 million years, will you subscribe to my channel? If you're enjoying the content so far, hit that like button and consider subscribing. Believe it or not, over 90% of you haven't subscribed yet. It's totally free, takes just a second, and helps the channel more than you know. Now let's move on to the remaining smart characters, and coming right up is Alan Keenan. Alan's smartness comes from his emotional intelligence, and in Elmore that basically makes him gold. He's so smart it makes him calm, philosophical, and it gives him the solution to every social dilemma. Even his mentoring game is elite. It's so good in the decisions he mentors Darwin into being smart, but don't be fooled by Alan's emotional intelligence. The dude is secretly a mastermind.
Yes, sir.
Leah must be thinking at least 2 steps ahead. Check.
In the vision, Gumball and Darwin snoop on Alan's laptop and see a perfectly crafted strategy that will make him school president and eventually ruler of the world. This plan is so foolproof, nothing could have stopped it from working out. Some parts of his plan even involved manipulating the students to think it was their idea to vote for him and slandering advertising campaigns against his opponents. Damn, Donald Trump could never. The only thing that's keeping Alan this low on the list is the fact that his idealism sometimes blinds him to reality, and that means there are others way smarter than him. Case in point, his girlfriend Carmen. Carmen is the brain of Elmore Junior High when it comes to rules, structure, and logic. I mean, she's the class rep for a reason. Out of all the girls, she is
Hello
serious
everyone.
and focused,
कैसे हैं आप सभी
dedicating
लोग?
all of her time to her studies. She's socially
यहाँ पर हम एलिफेंट के ईयर कान बना रहे हैं। उसके लिए पहले हमने मैजिक रिंग बनाया था। मैजिक रिंग बनाने के बाद हमने 2 चैन बनाए हैं। उसके बाद हम लाइन डबल क्रोचेट करेंगे।
But again, she's more street smart than mind-blowingly intelligent. And that's all there is to her brain.
1 2 3 4 अभी 5
His
हुए।
brain is so strong it gives him powers. William is literally a floating eyeball who possesses powerful psionic abilities.
6
In fact, he needs his brain to function because psychic powers are the only way that he can operate. If not, he would struggle with performing
7
basic tasks like opening a door. With just a thought, William can manipulate the physical aspects of reality with enough force to shatter concrete, cause explosions, or lift heavy objects. With his mind, William can transmit messages into other people's minds, and because of that, he can also read minds.
You're supposed to say it. You just can't hear it. He's using some kind of telepathic. Say louder this time.
In the voice, we hear his inner thoughts for the first time, and it's shocking how articulate, calculating, and intense he is.
You're foolishly fallen into my trap. Now you will destroy yourselves and your friendship at the same time. Then you'll understand my pain.
If William ever started using his brain, he'd probably take over the world. He's a silent genius for real. But you know who is even smarter? Rob. Yeah, this Rob, not this Rob.
You don't remember me at all, do you? And this is just some hollow promise. Dude, it's not that. We've just been distracted because, the funniest thing happened. See that hole?
You see, before he got stuck in the void, Rob was a running gag. But then he fell into the void, this place in Elmore that's practically a creepy lost and found for glitches, mistakes, and forgotten characters. But when Rob came back from this place, he was smarter, colder, and way more dangerous.
I will destroy everything you care about. I will take away everyone you love. I will be your nemesis.
Rob basically became Elmore's Lex Luthor. He is even aware he's in a cartoon, and that kind of fourth wall awareness is Rick and Morty level genius. He saw the cracks in the world, the plot holes, the stuff no one else noticed. And instead of ignoring it, he learned how to use it.
I will destroy you and everyone you love.
In the disaster, he didn't just mess with Gumball's day. He hijacked reality itself. He trapped Gumball in a version of Elmore where everyone hated him.
What is this? What's going on?
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff Rob pulls. And the wildest part is that he almost wins. If it weren't for Gumball's usual friendship plot armor, Rob would have reshaped Elmore into his own twisted world. Still, he isn't as smart as Nicole Watterson. Nicole isn't just smart, she's wicked smart. We're talking about a top-level executive who juggles an entire family of maniacs, and still finds time to school Gumball and Darwin with logic and precision. Without her, the Wattersons would collapse in like 3 seconds. She once ran through every possible future where she ended up miserable, and still chose Richard because she was smart enough to know that love meant more than success.
Actually, you know what? I wouldn't change a thing.
And don't let the work clothes fool you. Nicole's battle IQ is off the charts. In The Fury, she goes full anime boss fight and absolutely destroys Yuki in hand-to-hand combat. We're talking flips, strikes, pressure points, all while the building's literally collapsing around them. And she still manages to save the kids mid-fight. Nicole Watterson is what happens when a martial artist, a mother, and a military tactician get merged into one unstoppable force. Smart, fast, and ruthless if you mess with her family. Still, her level of intelligence isn't up to Bobert's level. Bobert can scan, calculate, and analyze any scenario in milliseconds. And this means he can accurately predict the outcome of any event using maths. Since he has such a scientific outlook on the world, he is one of the most intelligent
ठीक है।
students at Elmore Junior High. The only thing holding this guy back from